This program is brought to you by the City of Oceanside. The following program does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or policies of the City of Oceanside, its elected officials, KOCT, its board of directors, or staff.
I'm Lexi Moreno, a senior from Oceanside High School. Welcome to the Oceanside High School edition of Oceanside Spectrum. Thanks so much for watching. First, we have our very own athletic director, Mr. Brad Hollingsworth, here to reflect on this year's sports accomplishments along with different athletes' academic success. Followed by Brad will be the OHS class of 2022 Valedictorian, Adrian Alcocer. We will discuss how he balanced his education along with sports and his social life. Next up, we will meet two of this year's nominees for the Sabre Awards, Athlete of the Year, Bo Dubois and Aaliyah Bennett. They are also the San Diego High School Sports Association Male and Female Scholar Athletes of the Year for Oceanside High. Together, we will talk about their accomplishments and their future in sports. To top it all off, we have a student entrepreneur who created a business while attending Oceanside High School. His name is Javier Baez, owner of Drippies, a chamoy candy company. Javi is selling his products in local stores within the community, so we'll get to know how he became his own boss while being a student. So stay tuned, because the Oceanside Spectrum OHS edition starts right now. Let's begin with Oceanside High's athletic director, Brad Hollingsworth. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Well, thanks for having me, Lexi.
I think we can both agree that it's nice to be back in school and have sports back to normal, right?
It was a long time coming. It was really tough on us.
How has the adjustment from COVID to regular sports season affected you?
Well, affected me. I had two computers in my office, and at all times I felt like I was an air traffic controller. We had, masks or no masks. Is somebody out for 10 days? What are the COVID policies? And I got really comfortable with saying, I just don't know. And we went through that for seemingly like months and months and months. And during that time, I didn't sleep very well, didn't eat very well, didn't do probably anything well. Circles under my eyes, I had like sandbags under my eyes. It was so bad for us. But gradually, we got to come out of it, and we got to have our sports in the last spring, and it was good for us. But finally, when we got to this year, it seemed much more normal. We had less restrictions, and it seemed like what it was when I took over 5 years ago. But I don't wish anybody to have to go through that again. And if we have to go through something like that again, I'll probably put in my letter of resignation about 10 minutes after they have another pandemic. So hopefully that'll never happen again.
Oh, I hope so too. How has this year specifically impacted Oceanside sports?
Well, we really had a great year. It's kind of ironic that we won 3 league championships in girls sports on the 50th anniversary of Title IX for equity for women in athletics throughout race, gender, and all of those things. We won in girls golf. We won in beach volleyball, which is the first year was a San Diego section sport. We won in baseball and girls basketball. So it was a pretty successful year. In my job, I kind of judge myself on how many banners we get to hang in the gym, and making that call to the company that produces those is one I really enjoy.
Are there any students in particular that have impacted you or the program this year?
Well, with our Sabre Awards, where we honor our athletes, started by our former principal, Teresa Collis, and former football coach John Carroll, and another football coach Ed Campbell, and as well as our audiovisual specialist Frank Zimmerman. We honor our athletes in scholastic, accountability, bold leadership, effort, and resilience, as well as our male and female athlete of the year. So what we do with that is all the coaches submit the athletes, then we have a small committee of coaches and teachers that watch these athletes and how they act. We get a list of the finalists, and then we have a big thing coming up Sunday, which will be a ESPYs-like award ceremony, people in suits, people in nice dresses. It'll be a great event. We're expecting probably around 250 to 300 people in our Performing Arts Center. So it's going to be a good evening. I'll be in your chair, so I'll probably be more nervous than you. So hopefully I'm learning something today.
With all the success following the pandemic, how would you characterize or describe the 2021-2022 sports season?
That's a good question, because I think of it in a lot of ways. It's nice to see people competing. It's nice to see fans in the stands. It's nice to see cheerleaders cheering. That's kind of what it's all about. And it just was, when you had football in the spring and basketball in the spring and everything was all screwed up, it just didn't seem natural or right. It just seemed kind of odd and awkward, and it was finally neat to see us actually competing and actually doing the things that those kids are apt to do, and seeing our athletes do well. That's the greatest part of the job. You know, when you go to a water polo game in the afternoon and you know, we do real well and we beat El Camino, or we go to a golf event where we won league and there's like, we're celebrating in the dark. When our basketball team wins a league championship for the first time in, you know, decades, and same with our baseball team. It's really great to see those happy faces again, because it's something everybody missed, and we're going to have to do our best to reintroduce all those athletes to know what this is what we're about. That Oceanside Athletics is, we're taking care of the student athlete. We're going to make sure that you do well, you're the best version of yourself, and really try to make sure that they impact our community in a positive manner.
I love that, and I wish you guys nothing but success in the future. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Next, I'd like to welcome the class of 2022 Valedictorian, Adrian Alcocer. Thanks for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
So tell me about yourself. How did you get to where you are right now?
Well, it was a lot of hard work, but I got here mainly because of my family and my desire to help people. My family's always pushed me to achieve new heights and be the best person I can be. And wanting to help people is, especially in the medical field, I need to have good grades. So that desire to help people has really been my greatest motivator to getting through it day to day.
What are some things that you have done in school that you would say have helped you become successful?
Definitely learning how to manage my time by not only focusing on academics, but doing other things such as being part of sports and volunteering at food pantries. Both those things really help me to get a bigger perspective and really solidify my desire to help others, and it just gives me more of a reason to keep pushing.
You mentioned that you were in sports. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I was in swim and water polo my junior and senior year, and I did baseball my freshman and sophomore year. But water polo and swim have definitely been my favorites.
How have you managed your time with sports and education?
I really taken any little gap that I have of spare time to just do any little piece of homework that I can, learn something new, or just sometimes I've stayed up till 2 a.m. just doing homework. It's not the smartest thing, but it's what I had to do.
Now you said that you were in the medical pathway, I believe?
Actually, I'm in the engineering pathway because my major is biomedical engineering for college. But I'm planning to use that major in order to go into the medical field later on.
What kind of job in the medical field?
I want to be an anesthesiologist because I really want to help people recover from any surgery and make sure they feel little to no pain during their experiences.
So I know that you're the valedictorian. Congratulations. How did you get there? Were there any lessons that you have learned on the way?
Yeah, I learned that academics are a very important thing, but you should never neglect your social life or the people around you. So that's why I, especially my senior year, started doing more things like taking time to myself and go hang out with friends or get more involved in sports or just dedicate more time to the things I personally enjoy.
With everything that you've learned, is there any advice you would like to give to future students at OHS?
I'd say definitely make the most of the time you have and just keep pushing to greater heights. There's nothing you can't achieve as long as you put your mind to it.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that answer. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
In the next 5 to 10 years, I see myself graduating from UC Davis as part of the University Honors Program, and I'd be applying to a medical school where I'd be able to further my education in medicine, and I know it's going to be tough, but I know I'll get through it.
Well, congratulations. I wish you nothing but the best in the future. Glad you were here today. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Stay tuned, Pirates. Next up, we are happy to have two of Oceanside High School star athletes, Beau Dubois and Aaliyah Bennett. Thank you for joining me today, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Of course. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Aaliyah.
Yeah, so I've grown up in Oceanside. I've gone to all Oceanside schools my whole life. At Oceanside High School specifically, I've been involved, obviously, in athletics. I played golf, water polo, and softball all 4 years of high school. I also was a part of some clubs. I was in the National Honor Society. I wrote for the school newspaper. I even tried out for show choir one year. I just wanted to make the most out of my high school experience, so I tried a little bit of everything. I also, outside of school, I dance hula. I have been doing that for as long as I can remember. I love to stay busy and stay active and just do as much as I can and take a hold of all the opportunities that have been given to me.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Out of all of those activities, which one stands out to you the most?
Oh my gosh. Well, hula I've done the longest, and I love that. But this year, or not this year, but at Oceanside High School, I tried water polo for the first time, and I fell in love with it. And I'm planning on playing club in college. So, yeah, I love water polo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Beau, I heard that you play water polo too.
I do.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I moved here when I was 5 from Seattle, Washington, and I've gone to school here my whole life. In high school, I tried water polo, and it was great. I didn't really want to do it when I was coming into high school. I just wanted to do basketball the whole time. That was going to be my life, but I fell in love with water polo, and it ended up proving a better route to college, so it was great.
What made you fall in love with the sport?
I think that I fell in love with water polo because of the mental part of the game. Mentally, it's really challenging. You have to be aware at all times. You have to be able to control the game without having control of everyone and the ball, obviously. And I think that being able to try to mentally challenge myself and create scenarios for each game really helps, and that's why I really liked it.
That's amazing. So I see that you both have on the Sabre Award jackets. Mm-hmm. Can you guys explain to me what the Sabre Awards is?
Yeah, so the Sabre Awards is an athlete award ceremony that we have had, I think, for the past 4 years at Oceanside High School. And it's basically honoring and acknowledging all the student athletes. I think that Mr. Hollingsworth went over all of the different letters that Sabre mean, but it's a huge honor to be selected for this award and to be nominated, and it's just a really cool event, and we're really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get dressed up and see everybody else dressed up. I'm not super excited about having to speak in front of 300 people, but it'll be fun eventually.
So as I know, you guys are scholar athletes. Why do you think that your teammates look up to you guys?
Oh, that's a hard question. I've been lucky enough to be the captain of all of my sports, and being in that leadership position has been super fun, but also a little bit stressful because I feel like all of my teammates are looking up to me. And for me, I just try to always stay positive. I'm definitely a glass half full type of person. So just remaining positive. If we're on the green and it's hot and we're on the last hole and we're trying to finish, or we're in the pool and we're down by a shot and time's running out, or we're on the softball field and we're down by a few runs, I just always try and stay positive. And I hope that if my teammates look up to me, it's for being positive.
I love that. And for you, Beau?
I think that they look up to me because I was kind of thrown into the leadership role. As a goalie, you're supposed to, again, communicate and be able to create defenses even when you're a man down in water polo, and in basketball too. But I think that my teammates looked up to me because I was able to communicate without just screaming at them. And through that leadership, I was able to practice people skills and gain relationships that I probably wouldn't have had without them looking at me in that way.
Right. Well, I want to thank you both for being here today. I know me as a person and Oceanside students look up to you guys a lot for all that you've done. So I appreciate you and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Finally, we have one of Oceanside's very own entrepreneurs, Javier Baez.
Hello, Lexi.
Hi, thanks for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, actually.
So I see here that you've brought some of your products.
Yeah, so right there is my chamoy candy, and I made that about like 2 years ago. And I created it during quarantine where a lot of people were like creating companies and not creating companies. They were falling down like small businesses. But my family had a chamoy that we made, and we knew it was already different from everyone else, and we knew it was better. So one day we thought, let's create it, and we posted on Instagram. And then my brother-in-law already has like a following on Instagram. So he posted, can you hit up my brother, and it has candy. And I sold out and made like $300, $400 right away. And then during quarantine, it was kind of hard to have people pull up on you or go outside and go sell it. So I did a thing where you can like go deliver to people, and they'll hit me up on Instagram, like $20 or more, and I'll pull up on you, and you can buy whatever you want. So I started doing that, and it went super good for me.
What is your company's name?
The name is Drippies. So the reason why I call it Drippies is because it's chamoy, and I like to have, a lot of people make dry candy, and I like to have like the drip on the candy. Yeah.
So what would you say was your inspiration for your brand?
My whole inspiration was, honestly, we had the chamoy in our family. We already had the recipe, so we were just, I already tried everyone's. I didn't like buying other people's. I was like, I can make it myself. So I was like, one day I was like, I'm gonna create it, have a name behind it, and push it myself.
So how have you expanded your company throughout Oceanside?
Throughout Oceanside, a lot of like local stores help me. I tell them I'm a local fellow student at Oceanside High, and let them know that I started a company. A lot of them tend to help me. They know it's expensive because I'm at a legit company. Like, I sell it for $8.
Right.
They make their money off it, and they like to support me because I'm young.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Where do you see the company in the next 5 to 10 years?
With the Drippy company, I plan on, so we have a local Sunset Market. I already talked to 2 people from there. Eventually, hopefully I can get into there and market into like the Carlsbad and Sonita markets. And then also with the stores, I plan on getting into, I'm already in like 7 local stores, and I plan on getting into like 20, move out of state, move to like, go across state basically. Yes.
I think it's amazing that you're balancing all of this and school at the same time. How do you manage that?
First thing with that, I had to let my teachers know what I do after school. Most of my teachers know I'm an entrepreneur, and they know what I do. I'm not very good at school, so I had to like push myself hard to do all my assignments when I'm at school, and not try, because after school I'm right to the Drippies, I'm right to marketing, I'm right to go into sales. So I try to do all my work during school. Most of my teachers give us our work during school, so it's kind of easy for me.
Would you say you're very happy with where you are right now?
Yes, it's also very stressful, but I take a step back and I look at what I've done. It's good to see what I started off with and then what I'm at right now.
Do you have any advice for any younger entrepreneurs?
Just don't stress yourself out. Try to do good in time management. It's kind of hard to manage your family, have friends, go have fun, do school. You got to learn how to manage those, because you get sad and you forget like, oh, I haven't been hanging out with my friends or my family because I've been doing too much business. Because it's right after school for me. It's from right when I get off at 3:20 to like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It could be 5 o'clock. Every day is a different day for me.
Overall, with all the time and effort that you've put into this company, how much does it mean to you?
Actually, this company means a lot to me, knowing that don't plan on going to college, maybe in the future because I might need it. But I was never really good at school. I was into sports, but sports didn't work out for me. So my parents always told me, you're gonna have to push yourself to go to college or go something. So I found the route from my dad, create your own business, push it super hard, and don't look back from it. They always told me it's gonna be hard, but when you reflect back on it, you're gonna love it.
Well, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I know everyone's very proud of how far you come, and I wish you nothing but the best.
All right, thank you guys.
And thank you so much for watching today, supporting KOCT TV along with Oceanside High School. And don't forget, go Pirates!